Hello students, in today's class I wish to recall all the chapters what we learnt so far, all the important concepts and the topics which you should remember while solving the problems, which will help you in solving problems and facing your questions in the exam paper. So to start with, we have started the chapter sets. What is meant by a set? A set is a collection of well-defined objects. That well-defined is very important, and we will always denote a set with the capital letters, and this symbol denotes belongs to, this symbol denotes does not belongs to. Then after the definition of a set, we have learned how to represent a set. We have learned two methods. One is tabular form or roster form, and the other one is property method or set builder method. Normally we will use the word set builder form, right? And here we will use roster form or tabular form. What we will do, how we will express a set in roster form? In roster form we will write the elements explicitly by separating it with commas, writing all the elements inside the flower braces. Flower braces is very important in the denotion of a set. A set should be denoted inside the flower braces only. And in the set builder form we have used this kind of denotation. We will read it like this: the set of all x such that. X is the vowel in English alphabet. So we will open a flower braces, we will denote it by any variable, and we will put one oblique sign and we will call it as such that, and we will give the description of that particular variable, right? So we have seen how to express. You may get a question like this. They will give a question and they asked you to express it in tabular form as well as in the set builder form, right? So the set of all even natural numbers, how will you express in the tabular form? You have to write all the even natural numbers inside the flower braces separated by the commas, and since it's an infinite set, we have placed dots at the end. In the set builder notation, how will you denote? The set of all x such that we need to give the description for this x now. X is equals to 2n. Why we have written it as 2n? Because it is going to be an even number where n is belongs to natural number, right? This how only we will express the given set in tabular form and set builder form. You may get questions like giving a statement and they may ask you to express in tabular and the set builder form, right? And we have learnt different types of sets: finite set, infinite set, null set. Null set means no element. Singleton set means it has only one element. And equivalent set and equal sets. When we call two sets to be equal, if each element of the two sets are the same. When we will call two sets as equivalent sets, when the cardinal number is same. What is meant by cardinal number? Cardinal number means the number of elements in that particular set. What is cardinal number of this set? A. It has 5 elements. So cardinal number is 5 here. We will denote it by n of a. N of a equals to 5. If the number of elements in the two sets are same, then we will call those two sets as equivalent sets. We will call those two sets as equivalent sets. Here if you see, this set A has 5 elements. If some other set has the same 5 elements, in the sense it can have any other element, but the number of element is 5, then those two elements will become equivalent set. Equal sets means it should have the same elements, then only it will become equal sets. It doesn't matter in which order they appear in the set, in which order they appear in the set. For example, see, if you take set A and set B has 5 number of elements, but the elements are different, then A and B are called equivalent set, right? Then what we have learned? We have learned about equal sets and equivalent sets. See, it doesn't matter in which order they appear. Here the set A has elements A, L, O, Y. Set B has elements L, O, Y, A. Both are same only. So we can say set A is equal to set B. Yes. And then we have learnt an important concept called subset. What is meant by subset? A set A is a subset of another set if every element is also an element of B. If every element of A is also an element of B, we will call A is the subset of B. We will denote it by like this: A is the subset of B. This is the denotion of subset, symbol of subset. If it is not a subset, we will put a slash, right? And these two things you should remember. Every set is a subset of itself, and empty set is also a subset of every set. Every set is a subset of itself, and empty set is also a subset of every set. So you may get a question like, they will give a set and they may ask you to list out all the subsets of that set. So how will you express all the subsets of that particular set? You will start with the empty set, then you will end with the original set, and then in between what you will do? You will write a set with one element, a set with two elements, likewise till you reach your original set. That's how only we will express we will write all the subsets of the given set. Yes? See here, write down all the subsets of the set. To start with, we have to start with the empty set. We have to start with the empty set, null set, and then set with single elements, set with two elements, and then till you reach the original set. Therefore, the set and the empty set are always the subset of the given set. You should remember. So far what we learned? We have learned what is meant by set, the representation of sets in two forms, tabular form and set builder form. Then we have learned what is the different sets, equal sets, equivalent sets. We have learned all those definition. Then we have learned what is called a subset, right? Next we learned what is a power set. What is a power set? The set of all the subsets of a given set is called the power set. We will denote it by P of A. How many elements will be there in the power set? 2 power P of n of P of A is 2 power n of A. For example, 2 power n. Yes, if A has n elements, then P of A will have 2 power n elements. So indirectly you may get a question like, how many subsets will a set A have if it has n elements? Then it will have 2 power n subsets. Power set elements is same as number of subsets, right? If the set A has n elements, then its power set will have 2 power n elements, which means the set A will have 2 power n subsets. 2 power n subsets, right? Then we have learned what is meant by universal set. You know, universal set is a superset of all the sets from which only we will derive. So to solve problems, we need a superset. From that only we will derive the various subsets. And then we have learned what is meant by open interval and closed interval. Open interval means it excludes the endpoints. Closed interval means it includes the endpoints. We will denote the closed interval like square brackets. We will denote the open interval like open brackets. Yes, if we write open interval minus 3 comma 2, it means the numbers in between minus 3 to 2. Minus 3 and 2 are not included here. But if we express it inside the square brackets closed interval, then both the endpoints are included there. Yes. Then what is the length of the interval, which is B minus A? Whatever the interval is going to be, the length can be calculated by B minus A, which means the upper end minus the lower end. Yes. Then we have learnt a very important concept called Venn diagrams. Venn diagram, how we will denote? We will draw a rectangle box to denote our universal set, and the subsets of universal set are denoted by circles inside the universal set. Yes, and we have solved many problems using Venn diagram. So before solving problems, we have learnt what are all operations on sets. As we perform arithmetic operations on numbers, we can perform few arithmetic operations. We perform some operations on sets. What those operations are called as union, intersection and difference. What is meant by union of two sets? Which means it's a combination of all the elements of both the sets, where we will not repeat any elements. All the elements of both A and B. We will denote it by this symbol. A union B means set of all x such that x belongs to A or x belongs to B. This or is very important here. If an element is in union, it means that the particular element can be in A or in B. Okay, because in union we will write all the elements of A and B. So when an element is available in the union, it can be in A or it can be in B. We don't know in which set actually it belongs to, right? So using Venn diagram, how we will denote that also we have seen. Both A and B should be shaded. Intersection means which are common to both A and B. The elements which are common to both A and B. An element which is available in both set A and set B will come under intersection of two sets. It is denoted by this symbol. And here we will use the word AND. A intersection B is equal to the set of all x such that x belongs to A and x belongs to B. For union it is R. R means it can be in A or in B. But when it comes to AND, it will be in A as well as in B. Right? So, which means if 1, 2, 3 are in A, 2, 1, 5, 6 are in B, then what is A intersection B? 1 and 2. The common, the intersection part. If two elements does not have any element in common, which means sets are disjoint sets, then the intersection is empty. If B is a subset of A, then intersection is going to be only B. Yes, then we have learned difference of two sets. What is difference of two sets? This definition is also very, very important. What is difference of two sets? Difference of two sets means the number of elements in A. First you have to eliminate the common elements, then the remaining elements of the first set will fall under the difference of two sets. If we are talking about A minus B, then first you should eliminate the common elements, then the elements remaining in the first set A will come under A minus B. If we talk about B minus A, eliminate the common elements and then the remaining elements of set B will fall under B minus A. So how the definition can be written as the set of all x such that x belongs to A and x does not belongs to B. X should be in A but it should not be in B. The unique elements of set A are called A minus B. Yes, hope you remember all these things. And we have how we can express this in Venn diagram. A minus B means only A, not the intersection part, right? And we have seen few properties: commutative, associative, identity, idempotent, law of union and distributive. Distributive is very, very important. A intersection B union C is A intersection B union A intersection B. This plays a vital role in solving problems. A intersection B union C is A intersection B union A intersection C. Yes, then we have seen how to prove the distributive law using Venn diagram. So whenever you have a question based on Venn diagram, do it step by step. Don't get the answer in the first step itself. Do it step by step. Always give preference to the things which is inside the braces. So take the left hand side separately. Do your Venn diagram for the thing which is inside brackets B union C. And then intersect this with A. Step by step you perform. And for the left hand side, find what is A intersection B. Then find what is A intersection C. And then find its union. Right? Check whether left hand side and right hand side are equal. The only concepts you should remember while doing Venn diagram is the concept of union and the concept of intersection, difference, complement, all these things you should remember. Union means what? We will write all the elements of A as well as the elements of B. So when you are shading also, you should shade the complete two sets. When we talk about intersection, we will write which is only common, right? So you should shade only the intersection region here. Okay, so you should understand it, apply it, think in terms of numbers and then shade it. Don't blindly do your things. And if you see the sets A minus B, B minus A intersection B are mutually disjoint sets. Mutually disjoint sets means they do not have any intersection. All are completely different sets. They don't have any intersection. A minus B is this. Sorry, B minus A is this and A intersection B is this. Yes. Next we have solved numericals based on the operations on sets. Hope you can do this. These are all very easy problems. If they have given you the elements directly, you can very well find its union and intersection, right? Because we know what is meant by union. Combine all the elements and write together. Don't repeat the elements. When it comes to intersection of two sets, write the common elements. But when you have three sets together, don't confuse yourself, because associative, commutative, all are true for union. So what you can do is first find what is A union B, and then you can find what is A union B union C. Likewise, if you have brackets, first give preference to brackets. First find what is B union D, and then find intersection of this B union D with A. Write the sets one below the other so that you won't make any mistakes. You can avoid your mistakes. Right? Give preference to the thing which is inside the bracket and then find it along with the remaining things. Yes. Then what we have learned? We have learnt about complement. Complement of a set is actually omitted portion from your syllabus for 2021. But still you should know what is meant by complement of a set. It's the difference of a set from the universal set is called the complement. What we will do for the difference of two sets? We will leave the common elements and then we will write the remaining elements of the first set. The same way what we are going to do, complement means it's U minus A. We are going to see the common elements in U and A, and we are going to omit it, and we are going to write the remaining elements from U. So that's why the definition is given like this. The set of all x such that x belongs to U and x does not belongs to A. The element which is not in A but in U are called as its A complement, right? And a few of its properties we have learned. A union A complement, because A and A dash are completely disjoint sets. The elements in A will not be in A dash, the elements in A dash will not be in A. So if you find the union, you will get the entire universal set. Intersection is going to be empty, obviously, because those two are disjoint sets. And these two are again very important law, De Morgan's law. You may get question like prove De Morgan's law using Venn diagram, or prove De Morgan's law for the given sets. Likewise, you can have your question. So you should state the law. You should know what is De Morgan's law. What is De Morgan's law? A union B the whole dash is equals to A dash intersection B dash. When it is union, when you remove the brackets, it will become intersection. When it is intersection, when you give it for the individual sets, it will become union. Right? So A union B the whole dash is A dash intersection B dash, and A intersection B the whole dash is A dash union B dash. Yes. Then A dash the whole dash is A. We know all these things. Complement of the null set is going to be universal set. Universal set's complement is going to be null set. What is A minus B? These two results are also very, very important. You should remember while solving problem. A minus B is A intersection B dash, and B minus A is A intersection A dash intersection B. See, A minus B is nothing but A intersection, the second is its complement, A intersection B dash. When it comes to B minus A will get its complement. Okay, A dash intersection B, or else you can remember in this way also. A minus B is what? The first set intersection, the second set's complement. When it comes to B minus A, the same thing you can follow. The first set should be written as such. So, first set is B intersection, second set's complement A dash. Since commutative intersection is commutative, you can write in any way. A dash intersection B is going to be B intersection A dash. So, you can remember in this way. What is A minus B? A minus B is first set intersection, the second set's complement. First set intersection, the second set's complement. This is very important result which we will be using in our problems, right? This is De Morgan's law using Venn diagram. Again, as I told you, do it step by step. A union B the whole dash. First to find what is A union B. And one more thing is, you have to draw Venn diagrams with this rectangle. The universal set should be denoted. Without the rectangle, you should not draw simply the circles. Rectangle is very, very important. That denotes your universal set. So A union B, then A union B the whole dash. A union B the whole dash means complement means you should leave the set and then shade the remaining region of your universal set. Then what will happen to your A dash intersection B dash? First find what is your A dash, then find what is your B dash, then find the intersection of these two. Yes, A dash means leaving A you should shade the remaining region. B dash means leaving the B entirely you should shade the remaining region. A dash intersection B dash means you have to shade the region commonly shaded in both first and second diagram. Which is commonly shaded in both first and second diagram? Only the universal set, not A and B. So this is A dash intersection B dash. Thus we got both are equal, therefore this proves your first De Morgan's law. Similarly, you can prove the second De Morgan's law as well. And we have seen few important results on cardinal numbers. What is n of A union B? N of A plus n of B minus n of A intersection B. This is also a very important result which we will be using in our problems. N of A plus n of B minus n of A intersection B. The common part you should eliminate it. What is n of A union B? If the intersection is 0, automatically this term will get omitted. Even if you use the same formula, no problem, because anyhow this is, you are going to replace it with 0. Yes, when it comes to 3 sets, it's just the extension of this. All the intersection of 2 sets you have to eliminate and you have to add the intersection of all the 3 sets. Yes, what is n of A minus B? Which is n of A minus n of A intersection B. Remember, so which is nothing but n of A intersection B dash. That just now I told you. A minus B is nothing but first set intersection second set's complement. So n of A minus B is nothing but n of A intersection B dash. Right? N of A dash is n of U minus n of A. These are the few important results we have learnt to solve the problems. Then we have solved a few basic questions using this identity. N of A union B is n of A plus n of B minus n of A intersection B. They will give you statement questions. You have to find out which is union, which is the individual sets, and which is intersection. Wherever you come across the word and, the number of students who learns Hindi and English, then it will come under intersection. When they talk about or, it will come under union. If they say number of students who learn Hindi or English, it will come under union. When you come across the word and, it will come under intersection. Right? So these are all simple problems which we solved, where directly you will substitute the values and you will get the answer. Yes. Then we have seen few important questions on miscellaneous exercise. I want to recall that also. When you need to prove like this, they have given A union B equal to A union C, A intersection B equal to A intersection C. They asked you to show that B equal to C. When you need to prove one set equal to other set, how we have proved? We have proved the first set is a subset of the second set and second set is a subset of the first set. Then we will say, and hence two sets are equal. I repeat, how will you prove two sets are equal? We will say B is a subset of C, and then we will say C is a subset of B, and hence B will be equal to C. That's how only you need to prove if you want to say two sets are equal. So to start with, one set is a subset of the other, what we will do? We will start with an element from one set. So let X belongs to B. Then what we will say immediately, you have to recall what is given. Accordingly, you should proceed your answer. If X belongs to B, then automatically it will belongs to A union B. It will be in the union, right? But this is equals to A union C. Therefore, it will belong to A union C. By definition of A union C, what we know? It will belong to A or it will belong to C. Our idea is to say if an element is in B, it will also be in C, then B is a subset of C. So if X belongs to C, our aim is reached. We can say B is a subset of C. But we have to analyze this also, right? So if X belongs to A, what will happen? Then X will belong to A intersection B. Why? Because X is in B and X is in A, therefore X will belong to A intersection C. If X belongs to A intersection B, This is equal to A intersection C, therefore it will also belong to A intersection C. What is the definition of intersection? It says x belongs to A and x belongs to C. So we got it, no? It lies in both set A and set C, so it belongs to C. We started with an element in B and we have arrived at a conclusion saying the same element is there in C as well, therefore B is a subset of C. Similarly, you can start with an element from C, try your thing, and we can prove C is a subset of B, therefore from 1 and 2 B is equal to C. So how will you prove this? It depends on the marks. If the question is asked for 2 marks, it is suffice if you prove this and write similarly, we can prove. But if the question is asked for 3 and above, then you have to prove this also. There you should not write similarly, we can prove. Okay? Hope you recapped all those things. The same here. So wherever you come across the question where the numerical values of the set are not given, and if they ask you to prove 2 sets are equal, you have to prove one is a subset of the other and vice versa. So how will you prove one is a subset of the other? You should start with an element from that particular set and use the definition there and try to use the given conditions and then arrive at the conclusion. Here also we need to prove A union B is equals to B. So first we need to prove this is a subset of this and this is a subset of this. To start with, we have taken an element from here. By definition, this belongs to A or this belongs to B. If it belongs to B, automatically A union B will become subset of B. Right? But if it belongs to A, then what will happen? This directly implies X belongs to B because the given condition is A is a subset of B. Right? Therefore, we got A union B is a subset of B. The other way round proving is very easy. B is obviously a subset of A union B because we know every element of B will be in A union B. So from these two you can prove A union B is equal to B. So again and again I am repeating, this is the general procedure to prove 2 sets to be equal. You will start from an element in one set and try to apply all your definitions and arrive at the conclusion. Yes, after this what we did, we have solved many problems of this kind. These are all very, very important where you will have many questions of this kind, right? So when you have questions without any values and you need to prove, you have to follow this method only. Then we have seen a beautiful questions using Venn diagrams. Again, for this also I have given you clues. Hope you remember n of u, n of t, n of c and all these things are given and we need to use our Venn diagram or numerically we need to prove. How we can prove this? When it comes to 2 sets, see, I told you neither means not, right? Both of them are not. So when it is not included, you have to put the dash. You have to take its complement. So number of students, this problem is all about number of students who are taking tea and coffee. Here number of students taking neither tea nor coffee they asked, right? Which means n of t dash intersection c dash. Always it is intersection only. So t dash intersection c dash. Now t dash intersection c dash. Now you have to apply repeatedly. We will be using here De Morgan's law, then distributive law and the last 2 results about difference which I told you. So these 3 things only we will be repeatedly using while solving these problems. So t dash intersection c dash can be written as t union c the whole dash because you know De Morgan's law. Then the whole dash can be written as n of u minus n of, because what is the definition of a dash? A dash is u minus a, right? So here your set is t union z. So n of u minus n of t union c. We know the formula for t union z. What is it? N of t plus n of c minus n of t intersection c. We know all these values which is given in the question. Substitute and find the answer. So initially we have applied De Morgan's law, then we have applied the definition of complement, right? Similarly, you can solve problems involving 3 sets. Now let me explain you how can we solve the similar kind of problem which involves 3 sets. This question is all about the students who choose the subjects physics, chemistry or math. So suppose if your question is, now find the number of students who choose only maths. So they are interested in knowing about math. So remaining 2 you have to take its complement. As I told you, it's intersection only, right? So immediately what you should apply here? Here apply De Morgan's law. P dash intersection C dash is nothing but P union C the whole dash. Now this result also you should remember. Already I told you A intersection B dash is A minus B. Added to this, remember this result also. This can also be written as A minus A intersection B. The first set minus the intersection of the 2 sets. Yes. So the set which has complement should not be written here. The set without complement should be written here minus the intersection of the remaining 2 sets. So that's what we are going to use here. So n of m intersection P union C the whole dash can be written as n of m minus n of m intersection P union C, n of A intersection B. Yes. Then immediately we will apply distributive law, m intersection P union m intersection C. Then we know the formula for this, right? N of A union B is n of A plus n of B minus n of A intersection B. We know values for all these things, substitute and get your answer. So this is the idea behind it. If they ask for one particular subject, whichever set, see, this is a problem going to involve 3 sets. So out of 3 sets, they will be interested in one set. It doesn't matter whether it is going to be the subject or whether it is going to be tea, coffee, whatever it is. They will be concentrating on one set. That set you should take it as sets. The remaining 2 you have to take its complement. Then immediately apply De Morgan's law. Then when you have this, apply this result and then apply distributive law. Use this identity and then get your answer. So this is one way of asking question. What is the other way? Concentrating on 2 subjects but not one. Concentrating on 2 sets but not one. So whichever subject sets they are concentrating, you take it as such and the remaining dash. Then again this is directly of this step, right? A intersection P union C the whole dash, A intersection B dash. Here your A is P intersection C and B is M, right? So the same way, the set without complement you should take it here. So n of P intersection C minus n of P intersection C intersection M. Then apply your values. Hope you understood and recalled what we have learnt. And the last one is concentrating on only one of the subjects. Only one of the subjects what you should do. Only one. We are not bothered. They are involved in only one set. Then what you should do? N of M plus N of P plus N of C minus 2 times you have to subtract all the intersections plus 3 times intersection of all the 3. Right? This is number of students who choose only one of the subjects. Then at least one of the subject means all the 3 union. At least means all the 3 union. So M union P union C, you know the identity. Yes, only one means this is the formula, and at least one means it will become union. Union, you know the formula, subtract all the intersection parts and add one time the intersection of all the 3. Alright, none of the subject. None of the subject means all the 3 complement. All the 3 complement you can write the whole dash, which is nothing but n of u minus n of M union P union C, which is nothing but n of A dash. N of A dash is n of u minus n of A. And you know how to apply the formula for this, right? Apply this formula and get your answer. Suppose in the question they have asked both the questions, the answer of this subdivision you can use it directly here and you can solve it. Alright, and I have told you, you can check your answer. You can check your answer through Venn diagram. Directly you should not give your answer through Venn diagram, because for steps also you will get marks. So how will you check your answer through Venn diagram? First write the intersection of all the 3. Then you write the intersection of two sets and you have to subtract this common part from all the 3. Then you have to write maths, physics, individual values, and you have to subtract the sum of these three from here. What is sum of these three? 6, 3, 2, 11. 11 is subtracted from 15, you will get 4. The same way these three you have to add and subtract, right? Then now you can answer all these questions easily through Venn diagram. The number of students who opt only on subject means this 4 plus 2 plus 5, right? That's why the formula has been like this: n of m plus n of p plus n of c. 2 times m intersection p you have to subtract, 2 times p intersection c, 2 times m intersection c you have to subtract, plus 3 times this, because it involves all these values. N of m means it involves everything, right? So easily you can check whether what you have done is correct or not by using Venn diagram. This kind of problem you may expect in 4 marks from this chapter, and along with the problem which they ask you to prove like this, show that one set is equals to other set. As I told you, try to prove one is a subset of the other and vice versa using those 4 results. First one is remember De Morgan's law, distributive law, along with these 2 results, and the one which I told you now, A intersection B dash is also same as A minus A intersection B. A minus A intersection B. Along with that, if you remember all these results, you can very well solve the problems. So what are all the expected questions from this chapter? If you take 1 and 2 marks, you may expect questions from representation of a set in set builder form or roster form, and even you can expect operations on sets. When the numerical values of sets are given, they may ask you to perform some operation like union, intersection, difference, complement, etc. Those kind of questions you can expect in 1 and 2 marks. And in 3 and 4 marks, you can expect the problems involving Venn diagram, the problem which I explained right now. Then proving questions like this. This also you can expect in 3 and 4 marks, right? Hope I have recalled the entire chapter. Practice yourself and get ready for the test. Thank you, students.